Unit 2A Study Guide, numbers 22, 23, and 24. These problems deal with absolute value. So number 22 asks us to solve that absolute value equation. Well, the first thing we want to do is to isolate that absolute value expression. It's being multiplied by -5 right now, so we want to divide both sides by -5. So we'll get the absolute value of 3 plus 4x equals positive 23. Once you have the absolute value isolated and set equal to an amount, this is when you use this process to solve. So remember that absolute value means positive, but what can be inside can either be positive or negative. So we set up two cases to make sure that we get both answers. We're going to drop the absolute value, and so we write the positive case. So that means what is inside can be equal to positive 23, or the expression that's inside can be equal to negative 23. We no longer need the absolute value marks because what we are writing are the two equations that define what absolute value is. If you leave the absolute value marks, your equations are actually incorrect. So, and I'm not going to show that, so I'm subtracting 3. I'll just fly it up above here to save space. So we'll have 4x equals 20. Going to divide by 4. So the first number that will make that absolute value statement true is 5. Now we'll subtract 3 from both sides. So 4x equals negative 26. Divide both sides by 4. So we get negative 26 fourths. We'll leave it as an improper fraction, but we'll reduce it, divide by 2. So 13 halves. So this is the second number that if you plug it in, will make that equation true. Now on number 23, notice the absolute value expression is all by itself, so we can just go ahead and set up our two equations. So we'll have it set equal to positive 29, and then the expression equal to negative 29. So we'll subtract 1 from both sides, get negative 5x equals 28. Divide by negative 5. So x equals negative 28 fifths. Not the neatest answer, but it's in lowest terms, and it will work for us. We'll subtract 1 from both sides, so here we get negative 5x equals negative 30. Just remember the sign that's in front of the number or the term is what goes with it. We'll divide both sides by negative 5, so x equals positive 6. So these are the two numbers that you can plug in that will make that absolute value statement true. What makes an absolute value equation have no solution? Well, remember, by definition, absolute value has to be positive. So if an absolute value is set equal to a negative number, there is no solution. There's nothing that you can take the absolute value of that will be negative. So if the equation is set equal to a negative value, or I should say, if the absolute value is set equal to a negative number. So if we had something like x minus 2, the absolute value of that equals negative 3. Absolute value by definition has to be positive, so there would be no solution. Nothing we could plug in for x and take the absolute value of it. That would give us a negative number.